All right, so here we have some post-patch Hammer Core Guard, which I wanted to play a little. There was a big balance release, which affected this build a lot. I wanted to play some tried and true builds a bit before going back to weird things like Shortbow Renegade, just to get a feel for, how the balance patch shifted the meta side of the game. So this is a ranked queue. It's pretty low ranked, though. I think it's on NA. And so the main change with Core Guard on Hammer. Now, GS, I don't actually anticipate changed too much and was debatably the better option as far as I understand anyway. So I think you'll still see Core Guards. You'll just see that if this is bad, you'll see that they're more on Greatsword than they are on Hammer. But I'm trying out the Hammer variant. Now, the main difference here is you'll notice the icon on my skill 2 is different. Basically, the Grandmaster... No, the trait, it's not even a Grandmaster trait. It's just the trait that meant while holding a hammer and critting, you did Icy Blasts, which themselves could crit and do lots of damage. That has now changed into you do Icy Blasts whenever you land a CC. So we can trigger damage on our Ring of Warding and our Banish now, if they don't have Stab. And we can still trigger that blast on our skill 2 if we utilize it in a combo field. Hold on, this is a blast, not a leap, though, so you can't do it in a static field. That would just give swiftness, wouldn't it? Well, I don't know. So anyway, it's on CC now. And the other thing, though, is it completely changes the skill 2 if you're on a hammer to this thing now. It's called Icy Blast. It's basically just does more damage than the regular version, and guess what? Does an Icy Blast. So you could in theory get a double Icy Blast if you CC somehow via a combo maybe, or Bassy Venom. I guess if someone gives you Bassy Venom, you use Hammer 2. It could be really good. I don't have a thief I'm in comms with that might be running Bassy Venom here. And not that that's particularly reliable anyway. So yeah, let's just see. And I think that's the main difference between the whole lot. I played 2 games today. Both I won. Both were very easy. Both I had very little pressure on me, though the sustain aspects of this haven't necessarily changed. If anything, they're a bit better now that full counter doesn't hit so hard and certain other things have been refined down. Also, the general defense power level I anticipate to have dropped a bit considering the Firebrand nerfs, which does open this up a bit. But we're going to see how it plays offensively. Yeah, both games were a win, and both were pretty easy. Sorry to spoil the outcome here, but, it's not going to be a game about, a video about that necessarily. So I can't say I've got a definitive answer as to how it changed. So here I thought I was on focus. Don't ask me. I don't know, man. Which is why I cast a Ring of Warden. It's fine. We weren't in combat. So we get up the shield, the focus 5. We weapon swap. We're going for the totally standard burst here. When this ends, I'm going to jump in. We're waiting for a dodge on the guy as well, which we just saw he did. So we push in. The focus hasn't quite hit him just yet, and now it hits as well. And it was okay. The damage, definitely. He gets hit pretty hard. He goes down to the first auto. Now here I see that the Ranger is Rampage rezzing, which means I can't CC it, and my ally is all the way down here. I've got no poison. I'm very slow attacking. He will get that res. So now what I do is I banish. So here you see we get 2 numbers with the banish. We get the banish damage, and then 330 and an extra chill application. That's the other side of the trait. This will never crit. That's a big thing of the update. It's basically ignorable damage as far as I can see. Then I just use this ranged damage while I'm walking over. The other thing is I think the cooldown is slightly higher on this now as well, which is a shame because what you were aiming to do before is cast the Hammer 2 twice in each rotation swap of the weapon set, generally, or that's what I was doing. But yeah, here I use my heal, and I only use this to block the fear because I'd already popped the blind earlier. And I want to keep being in his face. When I heal, I cast a Lesser Smite condition. You can say that's really regressive utilization of the cooldowns and stuff, but it also, it helps us avoid the well for a minute and stuff. I don't know. That just was what naturally came to my fingers to mitigate the fear there instead of stopping and dodging. We come in, we use another Hammer 2. So you notice the raw power of that hit for 4k, which is higher given the might and the vuln and stuff and just the general flow of this fight than I would have expected before because the base damage has gone up. But still, it's not that convincing. We make sure these bodies are clear. And so, yeah, mid was really easy there, and I haven't really explained very, very loudly. But the reason why that was so easy was that me and the thief... The reason I came around beach, by the way, and pushed was because I saw my thief went hyper-aggressive. So I went with him. That's kind of the win condition. I'm going to pair off with him if he does that. So, yeah, that... not ordinarily, I might have gone around the normal route, because otherwise I would have been too deep. But when the thief goes in early, he kind of splits their attention around, and then he's stealthed, and it kind of leads them low awareness for me. which may have been what happened there. But anyway, I saw the Thief went hard, so I went hard too. And we managed to quickly kill the Reaper. None of the enemy team, they were all zerging the node. That happens a lot low rated. They're not watching. They're not linebacking properly. The Ranger tried and did go for the res, but we have the counter for that on Hammer, so that was fine. So now we've won our 2 cap in the initial mid. That's awesome. I love the positioning of this Necromancer here. He's watching for any crosses and he'll head those off. Our Thief can rotate quickly. I don't want to see anyone go for any bosses here, but of course, people will. What I want is the Thief to push up with us and we can snowball into this node and do some quick damage. However, my 99% of my focus right now is on the mini-map and what my team's doing. I don't necessarily disagree with one staying at mid, just in case an early respawn is already in this area of the map. I could, to tell you the truth, I've just realised I, as one of the snowballers, could look to the left to be sure about that, based on the timing, and especially if you're in comms. I could ping it at least. That's interesting. That doesn't cross my mind here. I should get a bit of muscle memory for that. Anyway, what I am looking is to the right, because I know there's going to be respawns, and this is the Necro, I think, right? No, this is the Warrior. Yeah, so that Necro could have snuck through, and I could have seen. Anyway, so this fight, I don't really actually have any faith we're going to win it. And I like my far pointer here, just kiting around. So, and I'm not really, I can interact with him in a few ways, and I can try and get him to peel out when it starts going south. But we're going to be outnumbered here, and I'm going to get pressured really hard. So you're going to see, I don't fight for this particularly enthusiastically. I take some burst damage and on the chrono. Another subtle buff to this build, theoretically, is Necromancers aren't automatically giving themselves protection anymore through Last Gasp, which means a lot of builds like this, in theory, are a little bit better now. Anyway, so you see I'm kind of flirting on the side a lot, and I'm just... what I want this guy to do is kite out right now, because we're going to be 2v4 in a second. This is a Reaper as well. I go in for a chance, bit of pressure, but it's against the Shroud, and there's no way I'm going to do it. So I need to flee, but unfortunately the Ranger's here as well. He's in his elite, and he's going to pew me down. So I want to use my elite, but I've got to get the timing right. So right now I'm focused on fleeing. I notice now that my team engaged on boss, and their boss, for some reason, obscene. We could easily get this stolen. But what I can do, fortunately, through the positioning... I mean, it's our Thief is trying to 1v1 it as well. What I can do is... use the sword too to create a bigger gap, but it's a Ranger, so I need to get on the left now to obstruct. But I also need to steal this. I've got 5 blocks up and my elite. So what I'm just trying to do is hold my elite for as long as possible. I know I'm going to need it through a more gritty line of sight. Like here, I can line of sight and it'll be fine. But when the Ranger comes down the corner, he's got a lot of open space for me. That's kind of when I want to use the elite. So I'm holding it. And I'm very low, obviously. I'm looking back. He turns the corner. Now, really, I should do it. But... I eat 2 autos and die. I thought I could have eaten a bit more than that, to be honest. I was being overly conservative with the elite. Bit of a mistake. Luckily, we have our Blood Scourge with us. And now I can cover with, you know, the heal. I come back and give him stab so that he gets away. Here, I target him to make sure I've actually given him what he needs. His stab and his protection. And now I see that the Soul Beast is really low. So I turn around and I jump him. He's Signet of Stone now. So what I'm just trying to do is immune up. I see this guy's using his elite. Oh, no, he's not using his elite. I just take the dodge and the Ring of Warding to walk through, which should move them both away. And we get a really high value elite there right in the middle of rapid fire, which is great. So that guy's low. I take the hammer burst and get full countered. So there you still feel, you know, the daze is a thing, but I'm not punished very hard pressure-wise from it, am I? I reckon I'd be pretty upset if I was a Spellbreaker main. Mind you, I don't really identify with people who just pick one thing and only play one thing. I mean, only one thing. I mean, a lot of you guys might think of me as an early or a fresh air main, and the meta doesn't let me play right now, so I'm on other classes, and maybe that's fair. But, and I do play, actually. I was going to do a game of the day for you guys on fresh air in, because I'd played so many other builds recently, I kind of want to just keep that one in mind, and so that I'm not suddenly trash it the second something more favourable happens. I mean, Last Gasp being removed is a favourable thing for me, but they also buffed the hell out of the Spectrals, and you might just find that Necros run that utility now. But then running that utility means they don't get to do other stuff. So here's something really nice from the enemy Reaper. He uses his elite. Oh, no, it's not nice. He uses his elite, right, and I've seen the animation, and what I know I want to do is stun break. I don't know if anyone's ever done this regularly. I certainly can be in this situation. I'd love to hear in the comments if you do. So I see the elite, and I assess, what have I got for this? Well, I could dodge it, or I could stun break and keep punching him in the face, because my animation is really safe, so that's what I go for. and I stun break before the stun. Here, I had no condies on me, all right? None. But I've pressed Contemplation of Purity, and I promise this isn't me just spamming skills. I've pressed this for the stun break, which also would give me, the flip on the chill, I guess. But I pushed for this on, but I did it too early. The animation is still in effect, and now I'm stunned. Oh dear. And also now I'm a little bit outnumbered or scared. This guy here, the Necro's smart enough not to CC himself on the ring, which is what I was hoping for, and then I'd go for the damage. But we get the kill very comfortably. Now we have to just cleave through this. I've blinded the body. I've done everything. The smite condition was just for extra pressure. Warrior can't do very much. I dodge away from the rush. Place the sword too if he stays too near. He's overextended massively. I was really hoping this would hit, but it moves quite slow. We do cleave through two other things. So we get the down, but we are 2v3, right? We got a kill, which is amazing, to be honest. And now we've got a warrior, a chrono, and the ranger is back again. So I don't... You might go guns blazing here, but it's not a good idea. This guy takes the kite up to here and does push, but I don't trust it will go anywhere. So I basically leave him to die. You saw I had judges up. I just don't think it was a good idea. I don't think we would have got it. And you have to make a lot of decisions like that all the time. This is the kind of stuff that gets you chewed out, you know, like, oh, why didn't you go in? Oh, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you got to have a bit of courage behind your own convictions, especially on EU. I must be on so many block lists at this point just for playing shit like Renegade in Ranked and being at a high rated and everybody just loses their collective minds. It's amazing. I mean, I'm at a point where I really have... this sounds very arrogant and horrible, but I have so little, like, care in me for the opinions of PvPers. It's brilliant. Anyway, yeah, this guy's overextended, so we're just sort of kiting him. I walk in front and put the ring down so that he can't escape. We notice here that we have a downstate thief, so I run through and banish. And you see I knock this guy away because I don't want him to be able to hit the thief. The thief was stealthed anyway. And look at the new ring. Look at this. This is hype, man. Because you can cast this at range. So my Necro has cast it around the body. You know, if you watch my Balance of Boots, it's 3 hours of balance discussion, right? When we got to this bit, the video was already very long and we'd been on Necro for ages, so I never said, but I will here. I almost hate how cool this looks because to me, this is like an elite specialization looking skill. This is like... a voodoo master, you know, you create the ring of fear or, you know, a ritual space around it. It's so cool. And he casts it around the thief. Beautiful. Then the ranger can't get in on that. It disappears right as he uses the 3 there. I can't believe he did that on purpose and with the timing. The patch only just came out. Like hell, he knows exactly when it ends. Or he's some savant that's counting the precise cooldown after having auto-memorized it from the patch notes mere moments before. Well, not moments before. I've actually been to sleep, so the meta should have already changed, guys. Here I'm on this guy, but I noticed that the Reaper's really low, so I hit him to keep him in combat. He uses Spectral Walk to come back. So we're seeing a lot of Spectral skills here. Spectral Armor's rolling around. Spectral Ring, I should now call it. The Walk. This guy's using a lot. So here's another elite. But he stows it. So he does bait a dodge here, and he stows it by going into Shroud. I really like that as well, because... isn't that like... there's no punish on him for a stow by going into Shroud. There's no animation like after cast or anything, is there? So here he uses the 4, so I counter with a heal. Oh, no. I guess I did something else. Then I heal his Axe 2. He should not have dipped out of Shroud there. Put the ring on him. That's an easily rotted body there. And it looks like we were clean on the roads as well, so... So, yeah, and I don't think the game's going to get any more interesting after this. Sorry that it's not the best, but, you know, we get interesting discussion. Back to the idea of Hammer. Unfortunately, I haven't had any really, like... I've had a couple of pretty clean bursts. You can see the pressure is there. I think by the end of this game, I will qualify for... This is really nice. Looking on post-commentary, I should have just used the 2 straight on it and stealthed him. How good would that have been? Because he didn't even play in his own field there. Here, this guy's using Defiant Stance. Yeah, we've had a couple of bursts, but not some others. I think some people will assess this as having killed Hammer, maybe. My gut says that some people might feel that way. However, I think that it's the utility of Hammer. It's the rings, and the cooldowns on those have gone down. Oh, here, I'm spinning my mouth. So here I was frustrated, sorry, because I'd been watching what was going on with the spawn, a ton of healthy people. And just as I thought, oh, they might be going to boss, and I could use boss to kite out, I look to the left and see the ranger here, and the ranger just pew-pewed it down in in an instant. That's my bad. If I'd been just a little bit smarter, if I had higher IQ, I could have easily judged over to that and stolen that and denied the team even more points. In the context of this match, it doesn't mean anything, but, you know, that's a frustrating thing to mess up because I know it represents a mess up in a more close match later. Here I could have sworn I got that sword 2 onto the node and saved it in time. Could have sworn. That's a good burst there. Pretty alright. Reaper supplement. Here I banish it off the node again. So here I could stay for the full cap, but the Warrior's going for the res, and I do have a Reaper, but there's no point asking the Reaper to try and solo cleave that. I'm going to go down with him. You know, everything about this game, our lead, our point advantage, we can take the most conservative play possible at all angles, and we'll be fine. Put the ring over it. Warrior has stab and can get through, but, you know, any other sneaky res attempts... I'm sure there's a lot I could have commented on about my virtues this game as well, making sure to get the F1s down before the defeats and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, here, this is pretty important because we're saving our Scourge. Immediately go for the res. Okay, so here I'm going for the res, and I don't actually think I'm going to get it in time, so I cancel cast my res and go for a banish, which I do land. Funnily enough, the guy died anyway, and he got feared anyway, so it's whatever. That banish was probably a poor play because if the Spellbreaker has stab, he's likely to have it in like increments of 5, in which case some kind of damage would have been the better thing to do. Maybe an auto attack or something. It depends what build you're fighting, whether you want to compound your CCs with the other person. There I'm jumping near the body, and it's not that I'm trying to troll. A lot of people think I try and troll. I just jump a lot, and I stopped using WS&D because I was wondering if I wanted to go close, I guess. But swinging this last fight for some more kills is probably the easiest way to win the game. We want to stop that getting decapped, obviously, though. So I come over onto it with the Chrono. Oh, I do apologize for that. My door just went. What were we talking about? We're holding this last node against the Chrono here. Whoa, have I sped it up somehow? What? Did I just speed VLC up? Or is my brain totally broken? This is going faster. I guess we'll just super speed through the last few seconds because I don't remember what hotkey that is. Then the Spellbreaker's here. I take the jumping puzzle to climb up to him. The game's over anyway. This is pointless. I could have just used the sword 3 to break his projectiles and then 2 to get up to him. But hey, whatever. All right, and there you go. So that's a bit of Core Guard. This video is not really about the game. It's just about the changes to Core Guard. So if you guys have any comments or thoughts about that, let me know down in the comments what's actually going on and what your experiences were. I haven't played enough to really have any meaningful understanding of it. But yeah, I think that in general, that difference between GS and Hammer might start swinging a bit more into the GS's side. Depends how much you value the 4 and the 5 on the Hammer, I think, to be honest. Because GS has its own utility. It's just more like selfish survivability, kite potential, that kind of stuff, you know, blind application. Anyway, so yeah, cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.